Hello students, today we will be starting with force. If we talk of force, we have many effects or we can see many things in our daily life which are termed as the effects of force. So before defining this term, we will discuss about the effects which are due to this force. As we can see that the first effect, if there is anything which is at rest, means the object is stationary, it's not moving. If we apply any force on it, it starts moving, means it is displaced from its initial position. So, its foremost effect is that it can move a object which is at rest. It is the first effect. Now, if any object is moving, for example, if the bicycle is moving and we want that it should be stopped, so we apply the brakes to stop the moving bicycle or any moving vehicle. So applying of brakes is also applying of force. So second effect is that it makes the object to stop or it to be at rest when it is moving. So we can write it second effect. Sets the object at rest from its moving state. Next, it changes the shape and size of the object. For example, if we take a carton and if we apply a force, means if we kick it or apply some force by a leg, then it will be flat in shape. Firstly, it was in cubical shape. Then if we apply force by leg, then it will be flat. So in the flat conditions, its shape and size both are changed. So force is responsible for changing the shape and size of an object. Next, force can even change the direction of a moving object. For example, if we have a ball and we kick it, kicking a ball is an example of applying force. So as we kick it, it starts moving and it randomly changes its direction. Means it is not moving in that direction in which it was set. So kicking was responsible for changing its direction. So these are the effects, four effects which can be visualized by the force in our daily life. Now on the basis of these four effects, we will define the direct definition of force. Force is simply a push or a pull which brings or which tends to bring about the above stated changes. So we define it as to have the changes we have stated. It's not like that we have to always push a object or pull object. It may be push or pull. In both cases, we can notice these effects. So this is a definition of force. Now we will see that we are saying that these are the effects and this is how we can define the force. But we can also calculate the force mathematically. So now we will discuss about how can we calculate the force mathematically. Force is represented by capital F, that is equal to M into A. Here M is a mass of body on which we are applying a force, and A is acceleration. Acceleration is defined as the rate of change of velocity. So we can state it as so this is how we can calculate the numerical value of force applied. Now we will discuss about the unit of force. We know that F is equal to m into A, where m is mass. So mass m can be calculated in kg and acceleration is meter per second square. So kg meter per second square is a unit of force. But if we talk of its SI unit, then SI unit of force is Newton. And this Newton is defined as when a force applied on mass of 1 kg and this force produces an acceleration, that is A, of 1 meter per second square, then the force applied should be of 1 Newton. Now we will discuss about its CGS unit of force. And it is dyne. 1 dyne is equal to CGS unit of mass is gram. So 1 gram into, and CGS unit of A is centimeter per second square. So 1 centimeter per second square. So these are the two units of force defined in two different systems. Now we will discuss about the types of force. If we have any body and forces are acting on it, then there may be two conditions. First, the forces which are acting on that particular object should be balanced, and other condition is that the forces should be unbalanced. So on the basis of these two criteria, we have defined two types of forces. First is balanced and other is unbalanced. In balanced force, if we take an example of a book which is lying at table, then the normal force is acting in the upward direction, gravitational force is acting in the downward direction. So these two forces balance each other. Due to balancing of these forces, the object, that is the book, which is kept at table, is at rest. So when the forces are in balance, its effect are not visualized. Hence, we can define it as forces which are acting on an object do not produce any change in its state of rest or of uniform motion are termed as balanced forces. Means they are acting on an object, in spite of acting, they do not have any effect on that particular object. Now, unbalanced forces. If these forces produce any change, means whenever the forces are applied on an object and the stated effects are visualized in that particular object, then the forces are unbalanced. Means among all the forces, there exists one force which is not balanced by any other force. We can take it as example, stone dropped. When a stone is dropped, it's moving, means it is changing its position. So it is an example of unbalanced force. This was the classification of force on the basis that the effects which are produced by it. Now we will be differentiating the types of forces on the basis that how the forces are applied on a particular object. So again these are categorized into two categories. First is contact force and other is non-contact force. First we will discuss about contact force. As its name itself suggests that contact, whenever there is a contact between the force which is acting on the body, then the force applied is termed as contact force. For example, if we talk of normal force is any book is lying on a table, like this is a table surface and the book is lying on it. So the normal force is acting in its upward direction. It will be acting only when the book is on the table. So the acting of this force is due to the book. So it is a contact force because this normal force is directly above the book. We can take an example of muscular force also, because when we kick a ball, it changes its place, it changes its direction in many effects. So there is a contact of a leg with ball. So again this is a contact force. So we can define it as and its example are muscular force and normal force. Now we will discuss about the non-contact forces. Non-contact forces are those forces which acts on a body when the body is not in contact with that force. For example, gravitational force. If, for example, we see that whenever we drop a stone, we say that it is attracted towards the earth due to gravitational force. But there is no attraction or there is no contact between that stone and the earth. Still it exerts force in the downward direction. So these forces are termed as non-contact forces. We can also take example of electrostatic force in this. For example, if there are two charged particles, they can be like or unlike. Consider they are like. Being apart, when they are separated, then too they exert some force on each other. So this is the force which is exerted by the two particles being separated. They are not in contact. Now students, we have many times seen that we talk of mass and weight. We think that mass and weight are one and the same thing. If we talk of mass, then too we are talking of weight, and if we talk of weight, then too it is obvious that we are talking of mass. But these two words or these two physical quantities are entirely different from each other. These both have their own meanings. Mass Mass is a matter that is contained in our body, and weight is a force that is attracted, means the force which acts on the body towards the center of earth, means it is not that it is fixed, it changes because it's force. But if we talk of mass, it is a total matter that we have in our body, so it's not changeable. So this was the first point difference. Second, mass can never be zero. Means if we talk of very thin person also, then too it must be having some matter in his body. So mass can never be zero. But weight can be zero. Because as we said that weight is force, so weight W is equal to mass into G, that is acceleration due to gravity. We said that mass can never be zero, but G can be zero. So whenever the G is zero, that is at the center of Earth, G is zero. So being G zero, weight becomes zero, and in that condition we see that it is termed as weightlessness. Third, mass is calculated in kg and weight is calculated in the units of force. As we have discussed, that unit of force is Newton. So unit of weight is also Newton. And the last point of difference, weight is a scalar quantity. Means it depends only on magnitude. It does not depend on direction. For example, if we calculate our mass in a east direction, either in west, either in south or in north, in all the four directions or in all other directions too, the mass will be remaining the same. But the weight will change. So it is a vector quantity. It depends upon value as well as on direction. And its dependence on direction is given by G, because the value of G changes at every instant. So this was a brief knowledge about the force.